is calling peace and friendship. We live, O Uganda, the land that feeds us by sun and fertile soul's growth. For our own dear land, we shall always stand, the pearl of Africa's crown.
Shadamindu Shadado Antireva Jatra Natsakara Jarashambhano Nama Rudraso Jatra Pitaro Bhavanti Mano Madhyari Gatayugando Padram Karne Vishnuya Madeva Padram Vachema Kadrijadra
If my memory serves me right and the history that I have read, not even before the expulsion was Diwali ever celebrated in State House with the President. Thank you very much. Your Excellency, it is extremely auspicious. Today we are celebrating Diwali in State House in Entebbe. The chanting of the holy words that was led by the Hindu priests and then by the Sikh priests prayed for peace, prosperity, prayed for long life for yourself, for peace in Uganda, for good health, for good governance, and thanking the Almighty for you as a gift to Uganda. So we would like to thank you, Your Excellency, once again. Your Excellency, in the Hindu culture, you're very well known. You have participated several times in the past in our functions. But the garlanding or the presentation of a flower garland to you shall be done. But to set off this occasion, as it is Diwali, we would like to request that you light these candles here in significance of the victory of good over evil. So I'd like to request you, His Excellency the Indian High Commissioner and the Chairman of the Indian Association in Uganda, to accompany you to please light this candle of hope and prosperity. Please give a big round of applause. And that is Mr. Chaplot's daughter as well. Thank you very much. Your Excellency, the priests also want to give their blessings to you.
Yeah, to High Commissioner also. Yeah, this is a great picture.
Yeah, please. Your Excellency, if now you will come with them.
Om Agni
Your Excellency, the speakers that are going to come next are going to try in their own ways to explain what Diwali is and why we are celebrating it. But as they explain this, Diwali is celebrated by over 1 billion people in the world. And like you're very well aware, that other heads of states like President Obama, Cameron, Prime Minister Cameron and Prime Minister have been doing it at 10 Downing Street and White House. And I'm extremely pleased, on my own behalf, Your Excellency, that Rajesh Chaplot to deliver his speech and talk to us about the function today. I thank you. Mr. Rajesh, please.
रंगोली की रंगीनियां हैं, ये है दिवाली. Meaning, in the dark night of the new moon comes the glow of burning diyas. Among the stars sparkle the bright fireworks. The night's loneliness is broken by joyful laughter. The soft breeze brings the sweet fragrance of beads and incense. In the bitter cold is the sweetness of sweets. In the colorless night, they are the colorful rangolis. This is Diwali. The festival of Diwali goes over 5,000 years back. Mr. President, sir, the origin of festival lie in the Hindu epic Ramayana. Diwali commemorates God Ram and Sita's return to kingdom of Ayodhya. Their return and their epic journey to Lanka after Ram vanquishes the demon Ravan and rescues his wife. On their way back to Ayodhya, people lit lamps to celebrate, and from then every year it is celebrated as Diwali. Diwali is a victory of good over evil. It is celebrated by lighting the lamps, fireworks, and exchange of gifts. It is widely observed throughout India and all other countries having the presence of people of Indian origin. In Uganda, Diwali is celebrated at SSDM Temple, Nakasiru, Swaminarayan Temple, and various other temples, where devotees perform all the rituals. We decorate our homes with lights and oil lamps. There was an Indian food festival at Speak Resort, Munyonyo, to commemorate this day. We worship the goddess Lakshmi during this festival. Lakshmi is the goddess of wealth. We wish Uganda all the wealth and prosperity. In both Christianity and Hinduism, we dedicate some time of the year to the renewal of our lives and our faith. We seek to reflect on what has gone before and to reconnect with the light which lies within us. Together and through the celebration of our festivals, we can increase our consciousness of the ways in which light can triumph over darkness and good over evil. We can recommit ourselves to that light in the world. How important it is in this Diwali and for Christians in the coming Christmas season that we hold this vision of justice and transformation for all, especially for the poor and excluded. In the face of present economic crisis, in which the temptation is to fall back upon ourselves and our own interest at their expense. As you know, sir, India is current country with diverse culture, multiple tribes and castes, tens of languages, hundreds of dialects, an institute of multiple religious faiths. Predominant religion of Indian subcontinent is Hinduism. Hinduism is a conglomeration of distinct intellectual or philosophical points of view rather than a rigid common set of beliefs. Hinduism is formed of diverse traditions and has no single founder. Among its direct roots is the historical Vedic religion of Iron Age, and as such, Hinduism is often called the oldest living religion or the oldest living major religion in the world. Hinduism, with about 1 billion followers, is the world's third largest religion after Christianity and Islam. We would like to thank you, Mr. President, for honoring our invitation to celebrate Diwali at State House. We as Indian community are very honored by this gesture, and we hope we will continue celebrating Diwali every year at State House. Sir. Mr. President, we have various temples in and around Kampala. with one recently accomplished on Entebbe Road, just near the State House, called Balaji Temple. It is a beautiful piece of art. Mr. President, we invite you to our temples to worship with us whenever your busy schedule allows. Mr. President, sir, we as Indian Association are engaged in various social activities in Uganda, with the most recent project being our Heart Operation project. We sponsored 20 needy Ugandan children below the age of 14 years to undergo corrective heart operation at Bangalore in India. We also launched a blood donation drive in June to join Uganda in a Jubilee celebration, and so far 1,600 units have been collected. We are also in the final stages of rolling out our scholarship project for the needy Ugandan students. We plan to sponsor over 200 students for vocational studies. Early this year, we have also been on the forefront of the jigger eradication campaign in Kamuli district. We were engaged in various relief efforts and many other such projects. Mr. President, the Indian community has been contributing to the economy of Uganda in all major sectors, namely agriculture, pharmaceutical, construction, energy, finance, printing, IT, education, hospitality, insurance, banking, property development, steel, tea, telecom, FMCG products, and many others. Sir, Indians are proud as largest contributors to the economy of Uganda in terms of contribution to the exchequer, investments, employment generation, social responsibility, etc. As an Indian association, in conjunction with High Commission of India, we frequently arrange business conclaves between Indian business houses from India with business houses based in Uganda and relevant authorities of Uganda. Uganda is a country which has given us a lot of opportunities, and for that we are grateful, Mr. President. Mr. President, you are the head of this household, and traditionally you should light the first lamp. And this light symbolizes the victory of good over evil. It symbolizes the victory of hope. It symbolizes the victory of perseverance. And I think it is a sign of prosperity in the years ahead. So may this new year bring prosperity to all of us, and may you succeed in your endeavors. Mr. President, on behalf of our community and my own behalf, wish you a very, very happy Diwali. Allow us to be the first to also wish you, Mr. President, and all in attendance, a Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year.
That was the chairman of the Indian Association in Uganda. Please give him a big round of applause, Mr. Rajesh Chaplot. Your Excellency, amidst us here, we have captains of business houses, industry, trading, scholars in various aspects. We also have your very own Singh Katongole, Deputy Treasurer of NRM. We have Pradeep Karia here of the NRM. We have Kananathan here from our community. We have Mrs. Joshna Ruparelia with us. We have Owek Tibwa Rajni Taylor, Minister of Finance in the Uganda government. We have Mr. Kishore Joban Putra of Nightingale Pickfair Ginger, then Mr. Harish Bhuktani, Arnold Brooklyn, to come and say a few words about Hinduism and our religion and how we have enjoyed practicing our religion in Uganda, unlike very many other countries where your religion, you're not allowed to practice your religion. So freedom of worship is one of the fundamental human rights, and by you accepting us to practice our religion freely, set up the temples that the chairperson talked about, and the government supporting us in all ways possible, would like to appreciate you. So Harish Bhai, please come and say a few words.
Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti means peace. Hinduism rotates around three P's. P for president, P. Prayer, peace, prosperity. Once you pray, peace comes. When peace comes, prosperity comes. This is the basis and the fundamentals of Hinduism. In that context, Your Excellency, you are also Hindu because you have brought prayers, you have brought peace, and you have brought prosperity to this country. As you would have heard the blessings from the saints who came here, the whole meaning always rotates around the peace. Peace be in an individual, in a family, in a society, in a country, in a continent, and the world, and it goes even beyond the world, that is the universe. That is the basis of Hinduism. Your Excellency, Diwali is a festival of lights, as you have heard a couple of times. It's not just mere these lamps. Okay, it's significance, but the light brings the knowledge. To move away from ignorance to knowledge. To light up the lamps within the hearts is most important. And that is the essence of these lamps which you have just lighted. We pray and praise you that you have done this task. Because when we talk about knowledge, you have done this. And primary education is a live example of what you have done to the children of Uganda. You have allowed us to coexist. We have a say. When you go to a foreign country, you don't fight for your place. You become a sugar and mix in the milk so that you blend completely in the culture. As the chairman of Indian Association said, we are not merely investors here. We are also here as social workers. We carry out so many social work and prove that we are not merely foreigners, we are not aliens, but we are part of your country, Your Excellency. I wish to remind you your visit to our temple in London, Nisden, where you saw a very beautiful temple, and you are also blessed by His Holiness Pramukh Swami Maharaj. You also had an opportunity to be blessed by him in Kampala a couple of years back, if you recall, and that is the essence. Blessings. All the prayers which our saints have mentioned, they were written thousands of years back. And these are the scriptures we as Hindus try to maintain, preserve, pass it over to the next generation. You would hardly see any such family who comes from India or being Hindu or being Indian. There is always a bond of family. We learn this from our religion. We combine, we cohese, we work together. And that is the essence of now success, which brings you peace, prosperity. And having lived in Uganda for all these years, having practiced Hinduism, having seen you also indirectly practicing Hinduism, this is the fruit that we are here today celebrating Diwali in the State House in this new coming year. Thank you, Your Excellency. And Namaste, Jai Swaminarayan.
That signifies the new year, the welcome dance. We've got a girl that's been trained and she's very young, very talented. I'd like to request her to come and present while the music guys get together. Your Excellency, at this juncture, I'd also like to thank you. I'd like to thank you for recognizing our community. We are aware that you have appointed quite a number of our members. We have Nimisha Madhwani, we have Mumtaz Kasam, You've given us the opportunity to serve. It is because of the democracy that you ushered into this country that I was elected in Toro Municipality, Your Excellency. It is because of that democracy. We have here with us Singh Katongole, who serves in the NRM party. We do have Justice Chaudhry, who is serving in the justice sector. So, Your Excellency, to reiterate what the previous speakers have just said, it is your good leadership that has led to creating that enabling environment for these people to really serve, for us to serve in your government. Are we ready? Yeah, okay. Your Excellency, welcome dance for you. Thank you. They are one of the largest tea producers in the country now. But his daughter, Shriti Vadera, Baroness Shriti Vadera, is in the British government. And they are supporting us. But they are also supporting the Indian Association in the heart surgeries that the chairman referred to. Yeah. Your Excellency, I would now like to take the singular honor and opportunity to invite you, Your Excellency, to make a few comments or say a few words to the gathering here, the gathering of the Indian Association.
The chairperson of the Indian Association of Uganda, and the members of the Indian Association. I'm very pleased to welcome you here today in State House. I want to inform you about the culture of the people of this region. The culture of the people of this region is that they welcome outsiders and always integrate them. If you look at all these tribes, if you take, for instance, our tribes in the north, Choli, Rangi, and so on, those tribes came from Sudan some few hundred years ago, but they became part of this area. If you take the kingdom of Uganda, originally there were only 5 clans in Uganda. Now the history says 12 clans came from Ethiopia, that's what they say. Another 12 came from Bunyoro to join the original 5. And then others came slowly until they are now like 53 or 52 or something like that. So that is the history of this area. People come and become part of the area. Therefore, you should not look at yourselves as perpetual outsiders here. You should know that you are now part of the Ugandan society. And I say this with a lot of authority because I am one of the original clans here. The Asians who came to Uganda had a symbiotic relationship with the indigenous people. They had a complementary relationship with the indigenous people. I know this because when I was growing up in my village in Tungamo, there were initially 4 Indian shops, Indian families. One belonging to Hari, we used to call him Hari, but I think he was Ali. But for us we said Hari. And then there was Budara. Budara died recently in London. I actually met him when I went to the other city where our people stay, Leicester or something like that. I met him. Budara, I think Budara must be Abdallah or something like that. And then there was Mamdari. Mamdari must have been Muhammad Ali, but in our language we say Mamdari. Now that Mamdari, his children are back here. There is Megani. Megani, yes. His children are here. And those children were with us in the primary school. Those children of Mamdari. And then there was the 4th family. I think it was called Hadi. Hadi must have been Haji or something. So these were 4. Now later on, around 1956, 2 Arabs came. They were called Abasiri, like Washihiri. I think they were from Yemen or something like that. They came and also opened their 2 shops. So altogether we had 6 shops of these people. Now, in 1952, I was selling milk to Budara's wife. My father would give me milk, then I take it to Budara's wife, and then she would pay at the end of the month. Now, unfortunately, Mrs. Budara had been being cheated by some Banyarwanda who were living nearby. Some Rwandese were also there. So they were selling her bad milk mixed with water. Now, the Indians have a custom of filtering milk with a piece of cloth, tamba. So Now, Budara's wife, because she was used to the milk by the Banyarwanda which they were giving her, which was water, she would put it there, and because it was water, it would go through quickly. So mine was concentrated. So when I brought it, it couldn't go through the cloth. So she thought I had brought her yogurt. And then she said in her poor accent of Rinyankore, "Eresera machunda." But the relationship between the people and the Asian society was symbiotic, was complementary, because they were doing what we were not doing. And we were doing what they were not doing. And then we were exchanging. Because for us, we were farmers, cattle keepers, crops. For them, they were shopkeepers. They were bringing to us things which we needed from far. We didn't know where they were getting them from. Clothes, salt for human beings, salt for cows, paraffin, hurricane lamps, all those little things which they were bringing. And for us, we would sell milk to them, bananas, vegetables, chicken, goats. That's what they would get from us. So it was a very symbiotic relationship. Now, people like Idi Amin were lazy bones. People who are not working. That's why Idi Amin would say Indians have been exploiting us. I didn't see how Budara was exploiting Mr. Kaguta, my father. In fact, you could say Mr. Kaguta was exploiting Budara, because Budara really, I don't know where he was getting all these things from, the salt, the what. She was taking more trouble to get these products from far and bring them to us. And for us, we just pick them from there. So it was really very bad that characters like Idi Amin could come and disturb this relationship. I've just been to Thailand, and earlier on I had been to Malaysia, and earlier on I had been to Indonesia. I also visited Sri Lanka this time, but Sri Lanka is a different story. The countries of Thailand and Malaysia and Indonesia, they have developed very fast, taking advantage of the Chinese diaspora, the Chinese who are living in these countries. They have contributed a lot to transform the economies of Malaysia, of Thailand, of Indonesia in a very short time, because they were business people, they were industrialists, and they helped to transform those countries very quickly. That is what our Indians would have done if they had not been disrupted by Idi Amin. course, Idi Amin also disturbed Africans. But in the process, he disturbed one of our crucial elements. What is the historical role of the Asian society here? Their historical role was to solve two problems, or three. Number one, what Abdallah was doing, bringing things for us in his shop, service provided by the retail service, which was being provided by the Indian community. Unfortunately, the Africans are fond of extravagance. This I can tell you because for me, they can't kill me because I tell them. If you tell them, they will kill you, but for me, I tell them that you are extravagant. The Africans, they have got that weakness of extravagance. But the Indian community, very good at saving and accumulate savings. Because you need savings to invest, to grow. And then thirdly, entrepreneurship. The Asian community have good spectacles for seeing where wealth is. The Africans, their spectacles are good, but not so good. They need more polishing. But the Africans are also coming up these days. As you have seen, they are active in shops, which in the past was a monopoly of the Indians. They have been active now in transport, these borders, these taxis and so on. I don't know why they start so many hair salons, because I thought hair was not really in need of much service. But wherever you go, you find a hair salon, hair. I don't know what they do to our daughters in those hair salons. And the Africans are now also active in real estate. Some of them are active there. But two areas where some of them have some hotels, small hotels, some of the African people. But because of inadequate savings and also maybe know-how, they are not very active in manufacturing. Few of the Africans are in manufacturing and in big scale service delivery, like big hotels and so on. Now, that's where the Indian community, I would like you to help your country, Uganda, by enhanced involvement in manufacturing, especially value addition to the agro products. All these products, this economy can grow by 10 times if only we add value to these raw materials. Coffee. Up to now we are still exporting coffee. mainly as a bean. There is one Ugandan who has tried to roast the coffee and grind it, but it's still small. Now, when you do that, the value of coffee goes up 10 times, from $1 per kilo to $14, $15. Last year we got something like $500 million from coffee because the price was good. The price went up to $4 per kilo. But normally it is $1 per kilo. Now when you sell coffee and processed, you get $1. But when you process it, you get $15. So that you see that our earnings from coffee could go up by almost 10 times just by adding value to the coffee. What is true of coffee is true of cotton and other products. So therefore, the Indians of Uganda could play the role which the Chinese diaspora in Malaysia, Indonesia, and Thailand played. Sri Lanka is different because the manufacturers there are mainly, I think, the local Sri Lankans. But the best example is the example of Indonesia, Malaysia, and Thailand. So please, if you can't do it yourself, attract somebody who can do it. This is the challenge I'm giving you. Now, the other man, Merari of Nairobi, has helped me by bringing Samir. That's one example. I had promoted the production of milk. Milk production had gone up from 200 million liters to 1-point-something billion liters of milk. And the milk was becoming a problem. Now when Melari linked me with Samir, this problem is now solved. The challenge now is to produce more milk. So the surplus which was there has now disappeared because Samir is processing all the milk, and what is not drunk immediately is turned into powder to be sold abroad. So Samir has solved one of the biggest problems I was facing. Samir is led by a man called Jaipuria. So what happened to milk, I would like to happen to coffee. I would like to happen to fruits. Maize. We are losing a lot because we are exporting unprocessed maize to Kenya, to South Sudan. When we do that, first of all, we get less money. But secondly, we export the parts that are needed for making animal feed. We export both the food for the humans and also the parts of the maize, which could be used for animal feeds. And when that one happens, it undermines the poultry industry, because the poultry industry depends on the animal feeds. Now, when you export unprocessed maize, you are exporting both the human food part and also the part of the grain that could be used for animal feed. So you are undermining the poultry industry, you are undermining even the dairy industry by exporting unprocessed maize. So I would like our Indian tribe to these areas which have got maize, Bulamburi in Mbare, Chibanda in Chiriandongo in Masindi, Kamwengi, some parts of Masaka, some parts of Zimbabwe. I would like high quality millers who mill maize, produce flour for human consumption, also produce animal feeds. It will add a lot to the economy. The fruits in Soroti, fruits in Kayunga, fruits in Masaka, fruits in Ruwero, these are a big challenge. Because I have encouraged people to produce more fruits, but they need processing. So please, I want you to look at those, intensify your historical mandate, because you have those qualities, the qualities of saving, the quality of entrepreneurship. So please, use them to cover these gaps. This philanthropy which you are doing, that's good. The philanthropy, the heart operation, the scholarships, that's good. But investments will do more than that. Factories, philanthropy can come later, but factories. Now, on the issue of freedom of worship, for us, that is automatic. The NRM never wastes its time with sectarian issues. This religion, that religion, this is your private business. What we do, we look at you as a citizen. We look at you as an investor. Your religion is your private matter. It's not the business of the state. Because what we want from you, do you have sugar, which is Hindu? Have you seen Hindu sugar? Or is Islamic sugar? Or Catholic sugar? This is just a diversion. Religion is the private affair of people. That's between them and God. For us here, we're looking at your role as a citizen or as a resident. That's what we are looking at. What's your contribution to the economy, irrespective of your religion? So for us, freedom of worship is not a problem at all. It has never been. That's how we were able to bring unity, because there was even conflict between Catholics, Protestants. We stopped this. Stop this. Have you ever seen a Catholic God? What is the religion of God? Is he Hindu? Is he Catholic? Is he Muslim? What is God's religion? Do you know? Maybe the priests can tell us what religion God is. The religion is the way you look at God yourself. But God is there. I don't know his religion. But I know that when I make telephone calls to him, Most of the time he answers my calls. But I don't know what religion he practices. So religion should not be a source of problems. Even where you come from, like in India, your leaders really should tell you this. Ideologically, you should. When you hear that Indians have got friction with the Hindus, why? What's the problem? It even caused the breakup of old India into Pakistan and Bangladesh and so on. Why? That thing should be ideologically attacked by your leaders. They should explain to the people that this is your private matter. That's what we did here. That's why we cannot accept to go into that those private matters to affect your role as a citizen. It's a very big mistake. It means ideological inadequacy. When you see these people killing each other in the Middle East, Arabs, Jews, and so on, those are all they are relatives. The Jews and the Arabs are actually relatives. They are all from Ibrahim. But because of the ideology which people put in their heads, they can't solve even a basic problem. I told this man Bashir of Sudan, because Bashir, the Muslims, they say pork is haram. That pork is haram. Okay, thank you very much. I told Bashir that my list of haram is much longer than yours. Because I don't eat fish, traditional Banyankore don't eat fish, because we call it snake. I don't eat chicken. I don't eat pork, of course. I don't eat pork. I don't eat mutton. I don't eat even goat. Even goat I don't eat. And I eat what you people you don't eat. I eat cow. But all the others I call haram. Ibhagaru. That's what we call them in our language. But the difference between Africans and Asians and Europeans is that we keep our opinions to ourselves. We don't try to impose our views on others. So where the Banyankore don't eat chicken, they don't eat fish in the past, the traditional people like myself. Our neighbors, the Uganda, eat them. And when a Muganda comes to visit me, I can give him chicken. I say, okay, you Muganda, you eat chicken, you go and eat that one. This is the difference between African tribes and Asian and Middle Eastern and European tribes. You live and let live. You don't try to impose. You don't try to impose your views on others. So some time ago, some confused characters in Kawempe, they said they were Muslims. They wanted to riot because somebody had eaten pork. So I told them, I said, you know, I don't eat all those things you are eating. Have you seen me rioting? So I said, shut up. I don't want that foolishness here. Has he put it in your mouth? Somebody has put pork in his mouth and you are worried, in his stomach. Let him suffer from indigestion. That is his problem. So this ideological bankruptcy should be fought. And therefore, when you talk of religious freedom here, it's automatic. This is the ideology of our movement. I used here a lot of nonsense by some of the pharaohs. Indians are not getting married to Africans and so on. I said, is that an important issue to deal with? Why do you want an African to get married to an Indian? Or vice versa. Marriage is compatibility. When you are compatible, you do what you want. And it may cause some incompatibility if the Indian is eating curry and this one. It may cause some problems. Why do you look at that? Why don't you look at other forms of integration? Why do you think integration is only in the bedroom? And not in the office? Why don't you have integration in the office, in the factory, work together? And if people want to integrate in the bedroom, that is their own private matter. Indian people account for almost like 25% or 30% of the investments. Some of the people I invite do nothing. They just do little. I wouldn't say nothing, but little. So you are most welcome. This is your home. I have got visitors, so I'm rushing to go to Kampala. But they have my staff here. Hello. Oh, naturally. Oh, come here. Come here. My State House Controller, Lucy Nechobe. She will be acting president. She will be acting president to host you to a dinner. The dinner which I had prepared here. Even the ministers are not here because we have got some debate in Parliament on oil. So we said all ministers stay there. Stop meandering around. Just, but she will be the hostess. She will be the acting president for this year. Next year, I will definitely host you myself and on time, because this time the day had already passed. Diwali was some days. I'm glad that you agreed to postpone it until I came back from Sri Lanka and Thailand. So I thank you very much. I wish you a prosperous coming year. Thank you very much.
There is a flower. There is a book about forms and currencies of India. There is a candle signifying 50 years of independence of Uganda. Your Excellency, the last time we met, you were referring to our holy book, the Gita. And Your Excellency, in those gifts, there is a Bhagavad Gita that has been presented to you, Your Excellency. There is a calendar And there is a deity of Lord Krishna and Radhaji that we pray to. In the second bouquet, there is also a candle of 50 years. There is another book, and there is a deity of Lord Ganesha that signifies luck and prosperity. The Bishop of India to Uganda to present his own gift. In the interest of time, the people who have organized the cake, can you please bring the cake? I would also like to request Ewekiti, our Honorable Anthony Taylor, to prepare himself with the vote of thanks. And Your Excellency, one last request is that before you leave, we have a group photograph before you leave.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, His Excellency, the High Commissioner of India, all protocol observed, my brothers and sisters. Your Excellency, and this is the time also while we celebrate, we also give you a very big thank you for inviting to the State House, and you will continue to invite us to celebrate our Diwali. Registered in 1922, and this year we are going to celebrate 90 years, a big birthday with all the communities in Uganda. I would also like to remind you that the Indian Association is the only organization in the world where our 30 associations are in hand-to-hand working together. Example, Bagandas, Wanyankoles, Ankoles, and so on. So there are 30 associations who are based in Uganda, are under the auspices of the Indian Association, and this has been going on due the peace which you brought to this country since 1986. Your Excellency, while you have taken an important decision about the religious, I would like to enlighten you a little bit that our temple in Masaka has not been returned, and one of the army personnel had bought it. I would like you to intervene to make sure that our worship place is being returned to us. There are also other properties which are not being returned to date, which have been occupied by so many schools, and we have honored your UPE, and we are still ready to honor, and we can manage ourselves like we made 5-6 years ago regarding the ISMR school. Your Excellency, I would also like to hinder you a little bit on the citizenship and the resident families. Our brothers and sisters are more than here 10 years, more than 10 years. Kenya allows the citizenship after 5 years, Uganda after 20 years, and the resident 10. You imagine the investment which our brothers and sisters have made to this country. It's in the millions of dollars. And we are not resident, nor we are taking the citizenship. And continue the public, I would like you to please look into it. You had promised us one time, when my brother Pradeep and Honorable Sanjay Khan, I had informed you that Asian nuns should be recognized as one of the tribe. We are more than 25,000, but we look at the economy which we have paid because of you, because of your security, the prosperity you brought to this country. I would like to tell you a few words. We pray Almighty for your long life, keep you healthy to serve this nation. From Kabawan, Katoda, Kuwebale, Kukuma, Uganda, for God and our people.
I thought it was 7 years citizenship. 20.
Let's understand.
It was raised.
This the 1995 Constitution says 20 years, but at 10 years, after 10 years, you can apply for certificate of residence.
I am going to work on that. That
you so much.
Your Excellency, where we hold the group photo, can you, so that they come?
We can do it outside.
We can do it outside. Your Excellency,